Now, we got crazy stuff happening in the Bay Area and basically in all of San Francisco every single day. Like, we just can't go through a day without some crazy stuff happening in the city. And it just shows you that this is basically Gotham 2.0, and it's soon to be Detroit 2.0 as well, with all the people leaving, all the office workers. And I kind of see why now. I mean, this place is truly unlivable when your postal mail guy is constantly getting robbed, when an Amazon delivery guy is getting robbed. And even like the robots can't even catch a break. Even they are getting robbed. So the post office workers, bless their hearts, they're delivering us mail every single day. And now in San Francisco, they're targeting the messenger as well. That's a big no-no, by the way. USPS worker robbed in this San Francisco district is going to be putting the entire zip code's mail keys at risk. Worker allegedly quits, and I don't blame him. It's pretty traumatizing. And this is crazy because like the mail keys, those are some really important things. People have checks, they have personal information, they have mail with their names, address, and everything on it, and some even have very sensitive information. And a lot of people want that information. These mail keys, wow, that is pretty scary. And I don't even know the city is even going to care at all. But this is a pretty big incident because San Francisco in the past, it was mostly like the Amazon delivery drivers being targeted, and kind of like for the first time, the USPS is getting targeted as well. Remember, USPS is not a private big corporation. It's actually a government sector. So here's what's going on. Robbed at gunpoint in Richmond district of San Francisco. She gave the robber all the keys to mailboxes for the whole zip code. Afterwards, she quit. Dude, that is scary. That's very, very traumatizing, right? And we're probably seeing more and more of these incidences in the future. And right now, apparently, there's going to be a massive $50,000 reward about the perpetrator. But let's be real, probably nothing's going to be done with it. We have heard no information. And yeah, this really, really sucks. And it's just recently announced, right? And it happened last month, and the person who stole the keys hasn't even been arrested. I guarantee you it's probably dropped. This case is probably dropped and nobody cares about it anymore. And they're like, whole zip code is at risk? Who cares, right? And that's like the whole thing with San Francisco. If you pull this stuff in like Singapore, if you pull this in Hong Kong and Tokyo, you get arrested like in the next few hours, man. Like they take their laws very seriously. You do this kind of stuff in the UAE, do this in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, you get arrested in a few hours, bro. And like the consequences are so immense. And it's crazy to see San Francisco basically having this sort of situation happening every single day. And this is like the more serious situations. Shoplifting and also robbery of small business owners are easily overlooked every single day in the city, and it sucks for a lot of people. If you check this out, man attacks USPS worker in San Francisco, steals the postal keys. It's a big deal, guys. You don't mess around with the postal keys. You could pretty much take everyone's mail, all their information. You could probably take like a lot of sensitive stuff like address, and especially like even social security, credit cards, all that stuff, and open accounts in other people's names, or just steal like mail in general, which is pretty valuable. You could sell the information, all that stuff. So this is what's happening here. I mean, if postal workers are getting targeted in San Francisco, this is probably not the type of city you want to be in. And plus, this guy is literally running with like a ski mask on. And these guys are like, yep, whatever. We don't really care. Happens all the time. I mean, when you get used to this situation, when you're used to see car thefts and stuff like that, you know this city has truly failed. And guys, even the robots are not spared, guys. If you guys thought Amazon workers and also USPS workers are being robbed, get ready to see robots are getting robbed as well. These food delivery robots, which partnered up with Uber, yeah, they're getting robbed, man. Like, people are stealing food from the inside. They're knocking them over. They're destroying this. And these robots aren't cheap, guys. It's a multi-$1,000 robot, and that startup is definitely losing a bunch of money here. Yeah, this really sucks. Delivery robots are now under attack. You see people like just straight up riding them and having some fun with them. I mean, this is San Francisco for you guys, okay? Even robots are being targeted, food delivery robots, and I guarantee this company is probably going to go out of business very, very soon. And San Francisco theft, if you just type in San Francisco theft, every single day you get more and more of these theft videos. Cars aren't spared. Rental companies are losing massive amounts of money every single day. And yeah, I mean, residents seem to be upset of the results of defunding the police. That is actually hilarious because we all thought originally San Francisco was always like defund the police. Now everyone's really freaked out because guess what? Guess what defund the police did to San Francisco? Because crime did shoot up because they actually allocated over $100 million from the police to other sectors of the city. It was roughly like, what, $120 million? That's a lot of money. And the city's actually pretty much short of 600 to 700 police officers, not to mention a lot of the 911 call staff and also other areas of the police force are all reduced drastically. This is why in places like Oakland, you have to wait in line for 911, like you're waiting in line for Spectrum Mobile. That's crazy. Okay, only in San Francisco, guys. Only in San Francisco, and now the residents are kind of fed up. They're kind of seeing that their businesses are failing. Okay, they're kind of seeing things are getting really nasty out on the streets. But of course, the serious incidences, like mailbox keys, entire zip codes at risk. I'm pretty sure the cops already have so much on their plate. They have a bunch of things, and plus, the city's priorities are really off because we all saw Elon Musk's Twitter HQ, right? Twitter actually turned to X, and Musk actually made this giant X on like the building, and now like they pretty much launched one of the biggest police investigations in all of San Francisco this year just to get Musk to take down that X. Meanwhile, like some mom and pop store and like the civic center is getting robbed and they call the cops and nothing's really been done, right? We've seen a sunglass store, a designer sunglass store getting robbed 6 times in 6 months, losing $200,000 worth of inventory. We saw an Afghanistan guy, he got his vape shop robbed $100,000 worth of items. Pretty much says that this place is worse than Afghanistan. Because he said at least in Afghanistan, people are punished for stealing. Guys, I don't want San Francisco to be worse than Afghanistan, okay? And that's what's happening. People are leaving. Rich people are leaving. Williams Sonoma is leaving. Gucci store, Louis Vuitton store, Burberry store is leaving. I mean, this is dystopian, okay? And has the city really addressed any of these issues? No. That is literally the craziest thing, right? You gotta address some of these issues. You don't address anything. That is the crazy stuff. I've never seen a city like this. This is my first time in my life to really get into the San Francisco situation. And the more I read about this, the more I talk to people about this, it gets crazy and crazier every single day. And this is why so many people are leaving the Bay Area. It's no longer a good spot. There's so many other great tech capitals. You go to Las Vegas, Austin, and Miami for tech. Why stay in this area, right? And plus, with the rise of remote work, you don't have to stay in San Francisco. And this is why San Francisco had lost, 200,000 office workers? Those guys are no longer commuting to San Francisco.